when Sarah called her mother-in-law, Helen, useless. She thought it was just a moment of frustration, but she had no idea that the same woman would soon save her entire family and their beautiful American home. It all began with one unexpected medical bill that turned their perfect life upside down. Sarah and David lived in a quiet, modern suburb in the Pacific Northwest. She was a top marketing executive. He was a successful software engineer. Together, they had built what many called the American dream. 2 kids, a dream home, and a bright future. But that dream had one small crack. Helen, David's widowed mother. Helen was old-fashioned, gentle, and simple. She spent her days knitting or growing herbs in the garden. To Sarah, she was a relic from another time, a woman with no career, no ambitions, and, in her words, no real value. Sarah often complained to David, "She doesn't contribute. She's just useless." One night, after a stressful day, Sarah lost control. She turned to Helen and said coldly, "Your life has no modern purpose. You're financially and functionally useless." The room went silent. Helen didn't argue. She just walked away quietly, her dignity intact. Sarah didn't realize those words would soon haunt her. Weeks later, their world fell apart. David suffered a sudden, severe stroke. The hospital bills came flooding in, thousands upon thousands of dollars. Insurance barely covered the costs, and within months, their savings were gone. Sarah stopped working to care for David and the children. Their mortgage went unpaid, and the home they had built began slipping away. One afternoon, Sarah sat in the kitchen, her eyes red from crying. She felt a gentle hand on her shoulder. It was Helen. Without a word, Helen placed an old wooden box on the table. Inside were savings bonds, certificates, and an old passbook filled with decades of careful deposits. Helen spoke softly but firmly. "I may not have a corporate job, Sarah, but I do have something, the skill of preparation. For 30 years, I saved every spare dollar. For moments like this, it was Helen's emergency fund, enough to cover David's medical bills and their home. Her quiet, old-fashioned habits had just saved their modern, collapsing life. My family," Helen said with strength in her voice, "will never be useless. And neither will its foundation." Months later, David recovered. Sarah hugged Helen with tears streaming down her face. "I was wrong," she whispered. "I measured your worth in the shallowest way possible." From that day forward, Sarah saw her mother-in-law not as a burden, but as the guardian of their family's future. Because sometimes, true strength doesn't shout. It saves, silently. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe.